Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Dhakal. The top stories first. PM says Nepal will not entertain regional hegemony, expresses objection to UP Chief Minister's remarks. Lower House endorses appropriation bill, budget yet to be passed by National Assembly. Lawmakers draw government's attention towards social issues, demand probe into self-immolation incident of Assam. New study sheds light on preventing coronavirus, suggests widespread mask wearing could prevent second wave of the disease. And holders Bayern Munich reach German Cup final. Polish starlet Lewandowski shines again with a decisive goal. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has made it clear that Nepal is not ready to get bullied into matters regarding national sovereignty. The Prime Minister also expressed strong objection to the controversial remarks on Nepal made by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Condemning the remarks of India's Chief Minister, PM Oli said if his intention is to threaten Nepal, then it would not lead to pleasant consequences.
दिनै पछि लेखा परीक्षण हुँदैन। अहिले कामका बेला हामी लेखा परीक्षणतर्फ बढी केन्द्रित पनि भएका छैनौँ। अहिले काममा बढी केन्द्रित भएका छौँ। रकम पठाइएको छ र हामीले यस्तो परिस्थितिमा अविश्वासबाट थाल्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता पनि छैन। हाम्रा प्रदेश सरकारहरू, हाम्रा स्थानीय तहहरू यस्तो परिस्थितिमा भ्रष्टाचार गर्नै पर्खेर बसेका थिए। अलिकति रकम पाउने बित्तिकै तिनले भ्रष्टाचारै गरे होलान् भनेर आशंका गर्नुपर्ने त्यो स्थिति होइन।
Speaking at the parliament yesterday, PM Oli claimed that India encroached Nepal's territory in Kalapani area. He added that diplomatic efforts are underway to sort out the dispute.
चिन्ता नगरौं, अहिले कोभिड-19 को चिन्ता गरौं। अहिले हामीसँग पैसाको अभाव छ। दुरुपयोग भयो कि भन्ने म यसो भन्न सक्दिनँ। कहीं कतै भएकै हुन सक्दैन भनेर पनि म त्यो दाबी गर्दिनँ। तर भएकै छ भनेर सोच्न पर्ने खालको स्थिति म देख्दिनँ।
The Prime Minister added that those who are against nationalism are also against the Republican setup. Oli added that political parties have displayed national unity regarding constitution amendment. He added that coronavirus crisis is a common problem and asserted that there were no irregularities in purchase of medical supplies. The House of Representatives has endorsed the appropriation bill for upcoming fiscal year's budget. Finance Minister Yubaraj Khatiora had presented a budget of 1.4 trillion rupees for the upcoming fiscal year in Parliament on May the 28th. Finance Minister Khatiora urged the lawmakers to endorse the budget during a House session yesterday. The proposal was endorsed by the majority of lower house members. Only the lawmakers of the ruling Nepal Communist Party had voted in favor of the budget. The size of the budget for the upcoming fiscal year has been reduced due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, the National Assembly has to endorse the appropriation bill before it gets implemented. The budget will be endorsed after discussion is held on the topic in the upper house and the concerned minister replies to the queries of the MPs. The government can implement the budget only after both the houses endorse it. Members of Parliament during a meeting of the National Assembly yesterday drew the attention of the government towards pertaining social issues. The MPs also raised the issue of self-immolation in Assam due to lack of job and murder of 5 people in Rupandehi. Speaking at the 0 hour of the Upper House meeting yesterday, members of the National Assembly, Mrigendra Kumar Singh Yadav, requested the government to probe into Acham incident and provide compensation to the victim's family. MP Yadav also urged the government to investigate the murder of 5 individuals in Rupandehi and penalize the culprits. Members of the National Assembly also cautioned the government that the citizens could now disobey the lockdown as it has taken massive toll on their daily life. Another member of the National Assembly, Ram Narayan Bidari, requested the government to make strict policies as cases of murder due to tripper accident has been on the rise. Members of the Upper House also demanded the government to manage the quarantine facilities at Sudur Paschim with the help of the private sector. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. Member of the National Assembly, Suman Raj Pyakurel, has said coronavirus cases in the country has been on the rise due to the arrival of Nepalese citizens from India and other nations. Speaking at the special hour of the Upper House meeting yesterday, MP Pyakurel said COVID-19 cases has expanded in Nepal due to haphazard inflow of Nepalese citizens from India and other countries. He further opined that Nepal would have already been a COVID-19 free country had the unmanaged arrival of stranded citizens been avoided in the initial months. MP Pyakurel, however, acknowledged that Nepal government has somehow still managed the pandemic better than influential nations such as the United States and the UK.
सरकारले उहाँहरूको आवश्यक र सम्भव व्यवस्थापन गरिरहेकै छ। यो महामारीको चाहे जस्तो व्यवस्थापन धनी सम्पन्न भनिएका युरोप अमेरिका जस्ता देशहरूले पनि गर्न सकेका छैनन्। होम क्वारेन्टाइनमा बस भन्न थालिसके। नेपालले बरु जेनतेन व्यवस्थापन गरिरहेकै छ।
The National Assembly, Ramesh Chang Raemaji, requested the government to increase the scale of PCR tests and put an end to RDT tests as the result of the latter have been inaccurate. Raemaji also suggested that the people have taken to the streets because of the lack of accountability of the government.
आज 63 जना मान्छे सुत्केरी मान्छेहरू त्यसको जिम्मा कसले लिन्छ? त्यो के कारणले मृत्यु भयो त्यो सरकारले खोजी गर्नुपर्छ कि पर्दैन? आज 1300 भन्दा मान्छेको मृत्यु भयो, झुन्डेर मृत्यु भएको छ, जसको खान अवस्था छैन। त्यसको बेला सरकारले अभिभावकहरू जिम्मा लिनुपर्छ कि पर्दैन? सम्माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, त्यसकारण यसरी सरकारमा ले चाहिँ जुन काम गर्नु पर्थ्यो, जुन गतिविधिमा सरकार अगाडि बढ्नु पर्थ्यो, त्यो गतिविधिमा अगाडि नबढेकोले हामीले सरकारलाई यसरी कुरा उठाएर
Raemaji alleged the Prime Minister of imposing lockdown on the entire nation just because he himself has been under lockdown for a long period of time. 279 new cases of coronavirus were reported yesterday in the country. The latest data puts the tally of the infections all across the country at 4,364. According to the spokesperson of the Health Ministry, Dr. Jageshwar Gautam, the new cases of infection are as follows: 8 from Morang, 5 from Jhapa, 2 from Chitwan, 4 from Udaipur, 1 from Nawalpur, 27 from Sarlahi, 48 from Kapilbastu, 5 from Nawalparasi, 12 from Palpa, 6 from Putan, 7 from Rupandehi. Similarly, 3 from Bake, 1 from Bardia, 6 from Saptari, 25 from Dailek, 3 from Jajarkot, 9 from Surkhet, 1 from Darchula, 12 from Kailali, 2 from Kanchanpur, 1 from Dareldhura, 16 from Dhading, 11 from Dhanusha, 4 from Gorkha, 1 from Nuakot, 53 from Rautahar, 2 from Sindhupalchok and 1 from Siraha. 90 more people were discharged from hospital yesterday after full recovery. This brings the total recovered cases to 674.
कोभिड-19 बाट संक्रमण मुक्त भई 24 घण्टामा डिस्चार्ज हुनुहुने जम्मा 90 जना हुनुहुन्छ। त्यसमध्ये 2 जना महिला र 88 जना पुरुष। गएको 24 घण्टामा 279 जना संक्रमित भेटिनु भएको छ। त्यसमध्ये 257 जना पुरुष र 22 जना महिला।
According to spokesperson Dr. Gautam, until Wednesday, a total of 110,744 PCR tests have been conducted, while 172,880 RDTs have also been completed. Also, there are 172,266 people in quarantine across the country, while 3,675 people are in isolation. According to the latest data from the Health Ministry, the coronavirus infection has spread to 72 districts out of the total 77. This year's SEE examinations have been cancelled. The cabinet meeting took the decision to cancel the SEE examination yesterday. The decision means the internal markings of the individual schools will be used as the final evaluation for the students. Education Minister Giriraj Pokhrel had taken the proposal to the cabinet meeting yesterday to scrap the SEE and use internal marking for the final evaluation. The SEE examination scheduled for March 19 had been postponed indefinitely due to the coronavirus pandemic and the subsequent lockdown. The government had indefinitely postponed the exams in the 11th hour to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Meanwhile, the government has also changed the modality of lockdown. The businesses which were obstructed since March 24th will be allowed to operate from today. The cabinet meeting has decided to allow all kinds of shops to reopen by maintaining safety measures. Likewise, private vehicles will be allowed to operate on the basis of odd-even numbers. The even number vehicles can operate on even days of the month and odd number vehicles on odd days of the month. However, public vehicles have not been allowed to operate at the moment. And now the news from the economic front. Nepal Reinsurance Company's shares have been listed in NEPSE index. The company's 100 million units of shares have been listed in the NEPSE index. Of the total 100 million, 16 million shares have been made available for public transaction, while 84 million shares have been allocated to the management. The company had listed its public shares on 23rd March at Rs 100 per unit. The company's shares have now been listed in the NEPSE index, with the transaction to begin after the share market reopens. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. Use of a face mask could push COVID-19 transmission down to controllable levels and avoid second wave, Reuters reported, citing a British study on coronavirus. The research conducted by scientists at Britain's Cambridge and Greenwich universities suggested lockdowns alone will not stop the resurgence of coronavirus. The study, published yesterday, says that even homemade masks can dramatically reduce transmission rates if enough people wear them in public. The findings of the study were published in the Proceedings of the Royal Society A scientific journal. At the onset of the pandemic, scientific evidence on the effectiveness of face masks is slowing transmission of respiratory diseases was limited. There was no data on COVID-19 since it was previously an unknown disease. But prompted by some new research in recent weeks, the World Health Organization said last Friday it now recommends that everyone wear fabric face masks in public to try to reduce disease spread. Indian and Chinese military commanders reportedly made progress in talks on Wednesday to defuse a standoff along their disputed border in the Western Himalayas. According to the Indian government officials, the two countries have pulled back some troops in confidence-building gestures. Hundreds of soldiers have been ranged against each other in the remote snow district of Ladakh since April. The border flare-up took place after Chinese patrols advanced into what India deems its side of the de facto border, Reuters reported, citing Indian officials. China claims the territory to be its own and has objected to the Indian construction of roads in the area. The two sides made headway in their talks on Wednesday, officials in Delhi said, speaking on condition of anonymity because of the sensitivity of the situation. After weeks of tension, including an incident in which patrolling soldiers from the two sides came to blows on the banks of Pangong Lake, friction has eased somewhat, one of the Indian officials said. The two armies have since thinned out some forces in a positive signal, but soldiers, tanks and other armored carriers remained heavily deployed in the high-altitude region, the officials said. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Holders Bayern Munich beat Eintracht Frankfurt yesterday as they set up the German Cup final against Bayer Leverkusen. Ivan Perisic scored the only goal in a highly competitive first half for the treble-chasing Bayern Munich. Eintracht, the 2018 winners, improved after the break, and Danny Da Costa leveled the game in the 69th minute, moments after coming on as a substitute. Robert Lewandowski scored the winner from Joshua Kimmich's pass with a goal initially ruled out for offside but awarded by the VAR. The goal takes the Polish superstar's tally to 45 in only 39 games for the German side. The final will be played between Munich and Leverkusen on July 4th at the Olympic Stadium in Berlin. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. PM says Nepal will not entertain regional hegemony, expresses objection to UP Chief Minister's remarks. Lower House endorses appropriation bill, budget yet to be passed by National Assembly. Lawmakers draw government's attention towards social issues, demand probe into self-immolation incident of Assam. New study sheds light on preventing coronavirus, suggests widespread mask wearing could prevent second wave of the disease. And holders Bayern Munich reach German Cup final, Polish starlet Lewandowski signs again with the decisive goal. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. We urge all our viewers to follow government directives of the lockdown and follow healthy, hygienic practices to keep safe from any infection. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.